What's up, everybody? Today's video, there's been a lot of changes in the NBA, man, and whether players are getting, COVID, health and safety protocols, and so teams have to sign players for 10-day contracts. It's been very crazy this past, basically the past month, right? 2K is trying to catch up. They're missing a lot of players, like for example, Isaiah Thomas is still on the Mavericks, right? When in 2K he's still on the Lakers. So there's clearly problems, and like 2K is a little bit behind, but they've added a bunch of players to correct teams, and I'm going to talk about that. Before the video starts, please be an OG, join the pack, and subscribe. Let's get this video started. The first team is Tyler Johnson with the 76ers. He's a 70 overall, and his contract is already up. So they've added him too late because now he's not on the team anymore, and that's kind of like a complication, right? But that's going to be normal. That's going to happen. We're not going to have like a solid, well done roster till like 2 weeks from now, or even a month from now, when everyone's like at least healthy, right? So it is what it is. The next team we have is the Chicago Bulls, and this player is a pretty popular player. Ersan Ilyasova is now on the team. This is a good NBA player, man. He had seasons with the Atlanta and Philly where he's averaging 13 points per game. This is a good player, a good pickup. Now, who knows if he's gonna be able to stay for the year? There's very few players I'm gonna mention today that are gonna stay on the team that they're on, right? But Ersan Ilyasova is one of the highest rated players. He's 74 overall on one of the best teams in the NBA. Good for him, man. I hope he can stay. Actually, we're gonna stay on the Bulls. I actually forgot about someone. Forgive me. Alfonso McKinney, another player that was pretty decent. He's always been basically a role player, but he is on the Bulls, who are one of the best teams in the NBA. However, I really doubt he's going to end up staying for long on this team. I could be wrong, but that's the vibes I'm getting so far, right? Now, the next team is the Cleveland Cavaliers. One of the biggest names on this video is going to be Rajon Rondo on the Cavs. Now, this is a player that might actually keep his 10-day contract because one very important player, his name is, wherever the hell, there he is, Ricky Rubio, 79 overall, is done for the season. I know it says torn ACL 1 to 2 weeks, but that's a whole season situation. So because of that, they add Rondo to the team, and that's huge. That's huge, especially because you don't have Sexton, and they haven't had Sexton like all season, dude. Getting Rondo is not bad at all. That's actually a pretty massive pickup for the Cavs. A W in my opinion. Now, the next team with the next player is actually going all the way to the Atlanta Hawks. And it's actually going to be Lance Stevenson, wherever he is. There he is, 73 overall, Lance Stevenson. The situation here is that even though Lance Stevenson was on the Hawks, he's not on the team anymore. Now he's on the Pacers, or back to the Pacers when he blew in LeBron's ear, same team, right? So he was on the Hawks, now he's on the Pacers, so 2K hasn't updated that, but at least he's in the game again. But I'm surprised, I thought he was going crazy in China, but here he is with the Hawks, now on the Pacers, and hopefully they're going to update that soon, because obviously they're behind. We're staying on the Hawks. There's another player that got added, is Wesley Iwundu. Iwundu was actually okay with the Mavericks from what I remember, so the Hawks picking him up. He could show that he's worth it, and he's good enough to be in the NBA again, and if he does well enough, the Hawks could sign him, but like, again, I think there's obviously a lot of negatives with people getting sick and health and safety protocols. And I'm not saying I want players to get sick, right? But I think it's special that because of this situation, players are given a chance to prove themselves all over again. And there's some players on this list that are actually doing a pretty good job so far and may get contracts because they were given this chance. And so that's cool that we're able to find something bright out of a hardship, right? Now, this next team is all the way to the Kings, and it's actually going to be Emmanuel Mudiay, a guy that's gotten a lot of opportunities in the NBA and has not been able to succeed with them, is now getting one with the Kings, right? Where do we start with Emmanuel Mudiay? Nuggets, Knicks. There's a lot of teams he's been on that he just hasn't performed in a way that we know he can, and so it's disappointing. But at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. It's just that he's not doing well, but at least he's given a chance again. Let's see if he can do something with it, right? The next player is on the New York Knicks, and that is Matt Moody, who is a 66 overall, which means he's the worst player in the NBA. Now, whether or not Matt Moody is actually the worst player in the NBA, whole different conversation. I don't even know if he's going to get minutes. But yeah, I haven't seen a player with a rating that low in a long time. So that's kind of crazy. But he's on the Knicks now. So there you go. The next player is a pretty crazy one. This one's actually really impressive and kind of exactly what I've been talking about is Marquese Chriss on the Mavericks. Marquese Chriss was added with a 10-day contract. First, I'm surprised he wasn't on any NBA team before because he had a good season with the Warriors. He was looking okay with Phoenix for a little bit. I'm surprised at only 23 years old, he wasn't on a team in the first place because on the Mavericks, he's already started a game and he's actually played really well. Luka Doncic, he actually fits really well with this team. and a team that's lacking in the center position, right? Because you have Porzingis at power forward. This is low-key a W pickup, and he could be fighting for a starting position on this team because of a 10-day contract. That's massive. That's huge. He's fun to use in 2K because he can do everything, and he's fast as a center. W situation for the Mavericks. That's actually really cool. The next player is on the Nets, and it's Langston Galloway. This player always finds a way to be in the NBA and consistently averages his good like 5 points per game, 7 points per game. You know, he always does okay, and I think he's always been an okay player who belongs in the league. And you know, the Nets that are a team that struggles with their depth because they're very top heavy, right? You know, Langston Galloway could actually find some serious minutes of this team. I hope he does, because I like Langston Galloway. He was a great player when I watched him on the Knicks. I was really happy with him. Hopefully, the Nets are happy with him too. Now, the next player I'm a little excited to talk about, and that is DJ Wilson on the Raptors. 71 overall, gets that 10-day contract. Hopefully, they give him another one because it's about to end. But when he played very well. I always do this every year where I give a prediction about an NBA player before the season starts, and I think they're going to be really good, right? I did it with Draymond Green. I did it with CJ McCollum one time. So I've done it with NBA players before. DJ Wilson was one of those players I made a guess about. I had a feeling about him being very good, and he never really lived up to that when he was in Milwaukee. And I thought with Houston he'd get a chance, and it never happened. But then he played with the Raptors this season for a couple games and did amazing. So hopefully, after his performance with the Raptors, somebody gives him a chance because he's good. He just needs that chance, I think. This next player is on the Suns, who are one of the best teams in the NBA, which is Chandler Hutchinson. But the problem is he's already cut, so he's added, but it's too late 2K because he's already been removed from this team. So a whole situation, but that's the situation with the Suns. Now with the Warriors, it is Chris Chiozza. Now Chris Chiozza was a good player on the Nets. He was averaging 4 points per game. The problem is his efficiency isn't great, right? But the Warriors were like, we needed someone for, you know, obviously health and safety protocol situations. So they add Chris Chiozza. He gives them another chance. I mean, this player shouldn't even have been in the NBA, and now he's here actually doing a good job. So his whole career has been given off of a chance, and now he's given another chance with one of the best teams in the NBA. So that's fire. He's a 72 overall, which means he probably deserves to be in the league. I hope he finds a home with the Warriors, but it might be a little hard because this team is very, very talented, right? And the final player is Brad Wanamaker on the Warriors. Now, Brad Wanamaker is another good NBA player with the Celtics. He had very good moments. He can do basically everything. It's just he does nothing well. He just does everything okay, right? Does that make sense? He's not like a specialized player. And there's only two types of players in the NBA, right? There's the stars, which you know if you're a star or not, right? And then there's role players. A player that's like, okay, I know I'm not good at everything and I can't lead a team, so I become a specialist kind of player. Like, am I a rebounder, am I a shooter, am I a defender? The problem with Brad Wanamaker is that if you're just okay at everything, you kind of don't have a home, right? You need to be good at something, and the problem is that he's not, right? But maybe that will change with the Wizards. Hopefully he is. Now, that's everything, right? There's a lot of players missing here, and there's a lot of players that need to be added. But as of today, that's everyone. Now, if I miss anybody, leave it in the comments below. If you like the channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.